Hello everyone. Welcome to the class of Complex Analysis, Probability and Statistical Methods 18 MAT 41. Today, I'll be teaching a topic in Module 5, Joint Probability Distribution and Sampling Theory. And the topic that I'm going to discuss is Joint Probability Distributions. Myself, Dr. Madhura, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. First, let us know the definition of joint probability distributions. If x and y are two discrete random variables, then the joint probability function of x and y is defined by probability of x taking the value small x, y taking the value small y is denoted by f of x comma y, where f of xy satisfies the conditions f of xy is greater than or equal to 0 and summation over x, summation over y, f of x comma y is equal to 1. We recall the discrete probability distribution function, which is similar condition satisfying, to say that it is a discrete probability function. So in order to say discrete probability function, p of x has to satisfy p of x is greater than or equal to 0 and summation p of x should be equal to 1. So in the same manner, we are dealing with two discrete random variables x and y. So the joint probability function of x and y is denoted by f of x comma y, which satisfies these two conditions. F of xy should be greater than or equal to 0, should be positive, and summation over x, summation over y, f of xy should be equal to 1. So if these two conditions satisfy, we say x and y are satisfying the joint probability function. The set of values of the function probability of x is equal to xi, y equal to yj, denoted by jij for I equal to 1 to m and j equal to 1 to n is called joint probability distribution of x and y. We have the set of values of the function denoted by probability of x taking the value xi, y taking the value yj, and this is in general probability of x is equal to xi, y equal to yj is denoted by jij, where I takes the value from 1 to m and j takes the value from 1 to n is called the joint probability distribution of x and y. These values are presented in the form of a table known as the joint probability table. Let us understand this table. X takes the value x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xm. Y takes the value y1, y2, y3, etc. up to yn. We have the first row, first element, which maps to x1, y1, so denoted by j11, the joint value, j11, j12, first row, second column, etc. first row, nth column, denoted by j1n. Similarly, second row for x2, y1, it is j21, x2, y2, it is j22, etc. j2n. And so on for the last value of x, that is xm, we have jm1, jm2, etc. up to jmn. And here the sum row wise, whatever the sum we take row wise, that is j11, j12, etc. up to j1n. Sum of all these j11 plus j12 plus j13, etc. up to j1n. So this sum is denoted by f of x1. Similarly, sum of j21, j22, etc. up to j2n is denoted by f of x2. And so on, row wise, we are summing up all the j values. F of xm is the last value. Similarly, column wise, when we sum up all the values, it is for y1, we have the values, set of joint values, j11, j21, etc. up to jm1. When we sum up all these, we get g of y1. We have respective to y2, j12, j22, etc. up to jm2. When we sum up all these j values, we are getting g of y2 and so on. Column wise, j1n, j2n, etc. up to jmn summed up together gives us g of yn. Now, the row in the last column and the last row, that is sum in the last column and the last row, f of x1, f of x2, etc. up to f of xm, when we sum up, the sum is always equal to 1. The sum is denoted by 1. And these f of x1, f of x2, etc. up to f of xm are nothing but the values of probabilities for respective x1, x2, x3 up to xm. So sum of all probabilities should be equal to 1. That is why the sum here is 1. Similarly, for y1, y2, y3, etc. up to yn, the probabilities respectively are denoted by g of y1, g of y2, etc. up to g of yn, and the sum here of all these probabilities is also equal to 1. So we will be obtaining the marginal distributions for x and y. So marginal distribution of x, to obtain that, we can sum up all the row entries and obtain f of x1, f of x2, etc. Similarly, to obtain the marginal distribution function for y, for all the respective values of y, we can sum up j11, j21, etc. up to jm1 like that, and obtain g1, g of y1, g of y2, etc. up to g of yn. So these gives us the marginal distributions of x and y. Next, the sum overall, that is summation I is equal to 1 to m, summation j equal to 1 to n, f of xi comma yj gives us jij, summation, double summation jij, and the sum is equal to 1. What we saw in the last value. Sum of all f functions is 1. Sum of all g functions is also equal to 1. And that is what we have written symbolically. Next, we'll understand or note down the notation for expectation of the mean. Expectation of x is given by e of x, mu x, summation xi into f of xi. Similarly, expectation of y or e of y, mu y, the alternate notation, mu is the mean. So mu y is given by summation over j yj into g of yj. So e of x into y, the product, is given by summation over I comma j xi into yj into jij. Using the joint probability distribution table, this can be obtained xi into yj into jij. So these are formulas for expectation of the mean. Now we will note down the formula for standard deviation. So we know that variance v of x is given by sigma x square, and that is in turn equal to e of x square minus mu x square, where e of x square is summation over I xi square f of xi square into f of xi. This product is being summed up, which gives us e of x square, expectation of x square, and substituting that here and substituting mu x value, we can obtain sigma x square, the variance. Similarly, v of y or with respect to y, variance with respect to y. So sigma y square is given by e of y square minus mu y square, where e of y square is summation over j yj square g of yj, yj square g of yj. So knowing the variance of x and variance of y, we can find out the standard deviation. So sigma x is square root of v of x, sigma y is square root of v of y. So once we know variance, we can easily obtain standard deviation with respect to x and standard deviation with respect to y. Now we will note on the definition for covariance. So covariance of x comma y is given by summation over I, summation over j, xi, yj, jij minus mu x into mu y. And this summation over I, summation over j, xi into yj into jij is same as writing e of xy, expectation of x into y, the product, minus mu x, mu y. And alternately, this is one and the same as writing mu x is mean with respect to x, mu y is mean with respect to y. So it can be also written as e of x into e of y. So covariance of x comma y will be applicable e of xy minus e of x into e of y. Now we'll note down the formula for correlation. Correlation of x comma y is given by notation rho of x comma y, and it is defined as covariance of xy divided by sigma x into sigma y. Correlation is nothing but denoted by rho. Correlation of x comma y is given by covariance of x comma y, which can be found out by this formula, divided by sigma x into sigma y, standard deviation of x into standard deviation with respect to y. This is correlation for us. Note, I already talked about this note. To obtain the marginal distribution of x and y, they are obtained by adding all the respective row entries, that is for x, and by adding all the respective column entries, that is for y, looking into the joint probability distribution table. So marginal distribution of x and marginal distribution of y, they are respectively obtained by adding up all the row entries in the joint probability table and adding up all the respective column entries in the joint probability table. So when we add up all the row entries, we can get sum of all the values of x probabilities. For the x, we can obtain. Similarly, when we add up all the column entries in the joint probability table, we can obtain the probabilities with respect to y. The discrete random variable x and y are said to be independent random variables if f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. And this is true in the converse also. So we have the two random variables given by x and y. These random variables are said to be independent random variables if it satisfies the condition f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. And conversely, means if this condition is true, f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij, then we say that x and y are independent random variables. And throughout this, we talked about the random variables x and y being discrete. So in our syllabus, we are going to discuss about discrete random variables x and y under joint probability distributions. So now, with all these theory part, we can see the problems. Now we will see problems. So we are working problems on joint probability distribution. We have already seen the set of formulae required for that. So let us see the first question. The joint probability distribution table, the joint probability distribution table, the joint probability distribution table for two random variables, x and y is as follows. So we are given with the joint probability distribution table, and given with that we are asked to find the marginal probability distribution and the standard deviations and other things. So first we'll frame the table for that. Right. So given this table for us, this is the joint probability distribution table. The x values are 1 and 2 and the respective y values are -2, -1, 4, 5. So we read y values in this way, in the row wise way, that is -2, -1, 4, 5, and x values are here 1 and 2. And these are our respective JIJs. So J11 is equal to 0.1, J12 0.2, J13 0, J14 0.3. Similarly, J21 0.2, J22 0.1, J23 0.1, and J24 0. So this is the joint probability distribution table given for us. Now we are asked to determine the marginal probability distribution of x and y. Determine the marginal probability distribution of x and y. So what does the marginal distribution of x and y mean is, we have to write on the split table for x and y. That is nothing but marginal probability distribution of x and y. We are also asked to compute the following. In that, the first one, expectation of x or mu of x, expectation of y or mu y, mean values, mean with respect to x, mean with respect to y. We are also asked to find out e of x into y, e of xy, and these are all the expectations in the first case. And in the second case, we are asked to find out standard deviations of x comma y. So this is sigma x, sigma y. Then in the third case, we are told to find out covariance of x comma y. And fourthly, we have to find out correlation of x comma y denoted by rho of x comma y. And at last, we need to verify that x and y are dependent random variables. So of course, I took up different varieties of questions that might be asked given the joint probability distribution table for us. So these are all some of the different varieties. Very firstly, we might be asked to find out the marginal probability distribution of x and y. That is a split table for x and y. Then we have to compute expectations of x, y, x into y, standard deviations of x comma y denoted by sigma x, sigma y, covariance of xy, and then correlation of xy. Finally, to verify whether the given variables, random variables x and y are dependent. Okay, so we can start doing one by one. It's an application of all the different things that I've considered together here in this one problem. Of course, not all might be asked to us in the examinations. We might be questioned with only few of them. So let us see the solution now. So first we have to obtain the marginal distribution. So marginal distribution of x and y are obtained by adding all the respective row entries and the respective column entries. So in order to find out the marginal distribution of x and y, say for example, first one of the table, marginal distribution of x or the split table for x, can be obtained by adding all the respective row entries. So when we add up for x is equal to 1, when we add up all the respective row entries from the joint probability distribution table, we can obtain the marginal distribution for x is equal to 1. Similarly, for x is equal to 2, when we add up all the respective column and row entries for x is equal to 2, again all the respective row entries should be added, which gives the marginal distribution, probability distribution for x. Similarly, for y, we can have to add up all the column entries. So for y is equal to -2, add up 0.1 and 0.2. For y is equal to -1, we add up 0.2, 0.1. Like that, column wise, we will add up all the entries to obtain the marginal distribution table for y. So let us prepare that small tables. Right. So this table will now help us to write on the marginal distribution of x and y. The first table is for xi and f of xi values. So I'll write on f of xi and xi values here, and this stands for yj and g of yj values. So first we will write on all the x values. X values are 1 and 2. First we will write on x values which are 1 and 2. And now the respective f of xi values I have to write down. So we can obtain marginal distribution of x by adding all the respective row entries. So with x is equal to 1, all the respective row entries should be added. So 0.3 plus 0.2 plus 0.1 plus 0. So gives us 0.6. So below 1, I'm going to write down 0.6. Similarly, for x is equal to 2, the respective row entries should be added. For x is equal to 2, the respective row entries should be added. So 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. So that gives us 0.4, 0.4. And recall, the sum of the probability values should be equal to 1. So 0.6 plus 0.4 should be equal to 1. And that is equal to 1. Similarly, we will create the marginal distribution for y now. Y values are -2, -1, 4, 5. So first I will write down the y values, yj values. So y values are -2, -1, 4 and 5. And how can we obtain the marginal distribution for y? That is g of yj values. We can obtain by adding all the respective column entries. So for -2, we have to add up 0.1 plus 0.2. Similarly, for -1, we have to add up 0.2 plus 0.1. For y is equal to 4, we are going to add up 0 plus 0.1. So like that, we are preparing these values, which are respectively after addition 0.3, 0.3, 0.1, 0.3. And again, if we observe, the sum of all g of yj values are equal to 1. 0.3 plus 0.1, 0.3, 0.3. Sum up together, we will get 1. So this was the first part of the problem for us to find out the marginal distribution of x and y. Now we have to compute E of x, E of y, E of xy, that is expectations in the first case. So expectation of x, the first one, E of x, or same as writing mu x. Mu x, expectation of x, formula, summation over I, xi into f of xi. Xi into f of xi. So every xi should be multiplied by its probability and you have to sum it up. So 1 into 0.6, 1 into 0.6 is 0.6 plus 2 into 0.4. 2 into 0.4 is 0.8 and that gives us the answer as 1.4. Similarly, E of y. E of y is nothing but expectation of y or mu y. Formula, summation over j, yj into g of yj. So every y value, so from the marginal distributions, we are able to calculate all these. Okay, so it will be simple and easy if we are writing down the marginal distribution table so that these values of expectations are easily calculated. So every yj is multiplied with its respective probability. So -2 into 0.3 is -0.6. -1 into 0.3 is -0.3. 4 into 0.1, so 0.4. And the last value 5 into 0.3 is 1.5. And the sum in this case is equal to 1. And finally, let us find out E of x into y. E of x into y is obtained by summation I comma j, summation over I comma j, xi into yj into j of ij. Now what is this j of ij? J stands for joint probability distribution. So xi into yj, every xi should be multiplied with every yj and that should be multiplied by its joint value from the joint probability distribution table. So let us just have a look into how we are calculating those values. It is the product of every xi, so 1 into every yj, so -2, multiplied by its j. These are the j values. I already mentioned that when I quoted the question. So these are the j values for us denoted respectively by j11, j12, j13, j14. Second row, j21, j22, j33, j22, j23 and then j24. So every xi is multiplied by its yj with multiplication of joint value. So 1 into -2 into 0.1 plus 1 into -1 into 0.2. Correct? So that is how we are able to obtain by doing the product of all xi into yj into jij. Along with we have to take care of summing up all those values. So let us perform this. We will be getting 1 into, I'll just show it for first two values. 1 into minus 2. 1 into minus 2 into 0.1 plus. We'll fix 1 first, means we'll fix the value of x first. So row wise I'm going. So 1 into next value of y is minus 1 multiplied by its joint value is 0.2, etc. Same way you have to proceed, and the last value that you'll be having will be from the tabular column. If I have to show you, right, so it will be 2 into the last value of x will be 2, last value of y will be 5. So 2 into 5 into 0. 2 into 5 into 0 will be the last product that you have to perform. So 2 into 5 into 0. So when we evaluate this, we can just use a calculator and evaluate this. So expectation of x into y, that is E of x into y, is obtained as 0.9, 0.9. So this was the first case where we obtained the expectations. Now the second part of the problem, or the next part of the problem, is to find standard deviations of x comma y. Standard deviations of x comma y. This is what we have to find out. So in order to find out, I'll just start with the formula for sigma x square. Sigma x square. And that is equal to E of x square minus mu x square. Minus mu x square, where E of x square is given by summation xi square f of xi. So this is expectation of x square. So expectation of x square can be obtained as summation xi square f of xi. So every xi should be squared and multiplied with its probability and added up. So 1 square into 0.6 plus 2 square into 0.4. Correct? That is what we are going to perform here. So we will be getting 1 square into 0.6 is 0.6, 2 square, 4 into 0.4. 4 into 0.4 is 1.6. So here the answer will be 2.2. And this value of expectation of x square we need to substitute here to find out sigma x square. So this is 2.2 minus mu x square. Mu x is same as saying E of x, right? The alternate notations also we should be familiar. So E of x or expectation of x is same as saying Ex, mu x, and this is mu y, no? So both these we will be in need of as well. So mu x is 1.4. So we have to substitute here. It is minus 1.4 the whole square. So evaluating this, the answer would be 0.24. 0.24. This is the variance for us. Therefore, standard deviation sigma x will be equal to, this is standard deviation of x. So square root of 0.24 will fetch us 0.49. Yes, we have rounded off our values to 2 decimals. That is sufficient. Okay. Now we can find out similarly, this was standard deviation of x. Similarly, we can find out standard deviation with respect to y. So I will start with the formula for sigma y square. Sigma y square. So sigma y square is given by E of y square minus mu y square, where E of y square, we will find out this first. E of y square is summation yj square into g of yj. While doing marginal distribution of x and y, we have already used the notations xi and f of xi, yj and g of yj. Okay, the same is carried out here. So yj square, g of yj. Now every value of y have to be squared, minus 2 whole square, multiplied with g of yj, its probability. So 4 into 0.3. Minus 1 the whole square is 1. 1 into 0.3. plus 4 square is 16, 16 into 0.1 plus 5 square is 25, 25 into 0.3. So like that we have to take care to do this e of y square expression. So that is going to give us e of y square is equal to minus 2 the whole square is 4. So 4 into 0.3 plus minus 1 the whole square is 1. 1 into 0.3 plus 4 square 16. 16 into 0.1 and the last value would be 5 square 25 into 0.3. So we are now getting e of y square value as, yes, of course, using calculator, this can be obtained as 10.6. 10.6. Now, with this value of e of y square, let us evaluate sigma y square. Sigma y square. So this is equal to 10.6 and hence I will substitute here. So sigma y square will be e of y square is 10.6. Just now we obtained minus mu y square. Mu y is nothing but expectation of y, which we obtained as 1. So minus 1 square. So 10.6 minus 1 square will give us 9.6. So sigma y square is 9.6 and hence sigma y will be square root of 9.6, which is approximately 3.1. Is approximately 3.1. So second part of the problem was to find out the standard deviation of x comma y. So we have found out sigma x, sigma y. Right. Now the third part of the problem is to find out covariance of x comma y and fourthly correlation of x comma y. Covariance followed by correlation. Third and the fourth part of the problem. So let us now do with the third one, covariance. Covariance of x comma y. So covariance is given by e of x comma y, expectation of x into y, minus e of x into e of y. We have already found out all these values. E of x into y is 0.9 minus e of x is 1.4 multiplied with 1. E of y is 1. So performing this gives us minus 0.5. So e of xy, e of x, e of y, I'll just show it to you. This was the first part of the problem for us. E of x, e of y and e of xy. 1.4, 1 and e of xy value was 0.9. So all that we substituted and obtained the covariance of x comma y. Now the next part of the problem, fourth one, is to find correlation. Correlation of x comma y, notation is rho. Correlation formula is covariance of xy divided by sigma x into sigma y, means standard deviations. So covariance minus 0.5, standard deviations with respect to x and y, we just now obtained 0.49 into 3.1. So in the denominator, it is 0.49 into 3.1. And that gives us the answer approximately minus 0.3. Minus 0.3. And now the last part of the problem, we'll just check out what is the last part of the problem. It is to verify that x and y are dependent random variables. Now we will recall the definition for independent random variables that we learned in the theory. Suppose we assume x and y are independent random variables. Then it should satisfy the condition f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. F of xi into g of yj should be equal to jij. So we can just check for one of the value. If it does not satisfy for one single value, say for j11 with x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1, it becomes j11. If it does not satisfy for even a single value like that, the conclusion would be random variables x and y are dependent. We are asked to show that or verify that it is random variables x and y are dependent random variables. So we start with the definition of independent random variables and prove that it is not satisfying the definition of independent, so it is dependent. So that is our fifth and the last part of the problem. So suppose x and y are independent random variables, then we must have the condition I am writing, f of xi into g of yj should be equal to jij. F of xi into g of yj should be equal to jij. Now we are going to verify this for, say, f of x1 into g of y1, taking x and I and j both equal to 1, 1. So consider for any one of the value we can just show first. So f of x1 into g of y1. So let us obtain these values from the marginal table. F of x1 is 0.6 and g of y1 is 0.3. So let us do the product, 0.6 into 0.3. And that gives us 0.18. This should have been equal to j11. I have taken I and j both equal to 1, 1 and verifying the value. So this should have been equal to j11. So we will now find out or obtain what is j11 from the joint probability distribution table. That is the given table. So from this table, j11 is equal to 0.1. First row, first column of the x and y that it takes. So j11 is equal to 0.1. So j11 is 0.1 and f of x1 into g of y1 is 0.18, and we observe that the product is not equal to j11. So f of x1 into g of y1 is not equal to j11, and that concludes that for any one value also, if this condition does not satisfy, we can conclude the variables x and y are dependent random variables. If it has to be independent random variables, it should have been satisfied this condition. F of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. But we observe the product f of x1 into g of y1 is not equal to j11 for ij equal to 1 and 1. So we can conclude that x and y are dependent random variables. For saying dependent random variables, if it does not, this condition does not satisfy for any ij, for any one particular value of ij also, it concludes to be dependent random variable. Suppose we have to show for any particular problem that the function is satisfying the random variables x and y are independent random variables, means we have to show it for every value of the table, for every I comma j of the table. Now, since it was to prove that it is dependent random variables, we can show it for any single value, and just orally observation also gives us the answer. So this was the problem in joint probability distribution, wherein we computed expectations, standard deviations, covariance, correlation, and verified for dependent random variables. To do with all these, what we want is joint probability distribution table as well as the marginal probability distribution table. We'll see the second problem now. The joint probability distribution is as given below. So first we will write on the table for joint probability distribution, which is given for us. So this is the joint probability distribution table given for us, where x takes the value 1, 2 and y takes the value 2, 3, 4. The respective values are J11.06, J12.15, J13.09. Similarly, J21.14, J22.35, J23.21. So these are the given values for us, joint values for us. Now we are asked to determine, write down, determine the marginal distribution, determine the marginal distribution of x and y, and verify that x and y are independent random variables. We have to verify x and y, the random variables x and y are independent random variables. So first let us frame the marginal distribution of x and y. So we recall the definition for marginal distribution. We can obtain the marginal distribution of x by summing up all the respective row entries of the values of x, and we can obtain the marginal distribution of y by adding up all the column entries of y. So y equal to 2, column entries are respectively added. For y equal to 3, the column entries are respectively added. So that is the first part of the problem for us. That is to find out the marginal distribution of x and y. So let us prepare that small tables for x and y first. Right. So these are the marginal tables that I prepared. Xi, we will fill the values now. So the Xi values are from the table 1 and 2, and the respective f of Xi we have to find out, that is probability with respect to x. So how to obtain the marginal distribution table for x is by summing up all the row entries for x is equal to 1. So we have to add up 0.06 plus 0.15 plus 0.09, and that gives us 0.3. For xi is equal to 1, f of xi is 0.3. Similarly, for x is equal to 2, we have to add up respective row entries 0.14, 0.35, 0.21. So adding up all these, we can obtain 0.7. The sum of these two has to be 1. Probabilities, they are nothing but the probabilities. The sum has to be exactly equal to 1 always. Similarly, we can frame the marginal distribution for y. The notations are yj and g of yj. So yj values means y values are 2, 3, 4, 2, 3 and 4. The respective values of its probabilities g of yj can be obtained by adding up respective column values. So for y is equal to 2, 0.06 plus 1.14 we have to add, which gives us 0.2. Similarly, for y is equal to 3, 0.15 and 0.35 should be added, which is 0.5. And similarly, for y is equal to 4, 0.09 and 0.21 added together gives 0.3. Again observe, summation g of yj is equal to 1. Sum of all g of yj values, probabilities should be equal to 1 always. So that was the first part of the problem, to find out the marginal distribution of x and y. Now moving on to the next part of the problem, to verify x and y are independent random variables. So just in the last problem, we have worked out about dependent random variables. Now we have to show that x and y are independent random variables. So in order to say x and y are independent random variables, it has to satisfy the condition f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. So we can write down about the same formula. X and y are independent independent random variables, if it satisfies the condition f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. Of xi into g of yj is equal to jij. Let us verify this condition for each one of the values now. So f of x1 into g of y1 should be equal to j11 because I am taking I equal to 1, j equal to 1. So let's see what is f of x1 into g of y1. F of x1 is 0.3 into g of y1 is 0.2. So 0.3 into 0.2 and the product is equal to 0.06, and we observe that this is equal to j11. So let me show you the value of j11 from the joint probability distribution table. So we observe j11 is 0.06. So it is equal to j11. So for I equal to 1 and j equal to 1, the condition got satisfied. Similarly, now we will fix with x is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1 and vary the value of j. So let me take j equal to 2. So g of y2 I would like to take. So this will be 0.3 into g of y2. G of y2 is 0.5. Let me show it to you in the table. Is g of y2 is the second value. For y equal to 3, g of y2 is 0.5. So that is what I substituted. And this product is equal to 0.15. And we observe that this is equal to j12. I have kept x is equal to 1 and I have varied y as 2. I mean second value of y. So j12 from the tabular column, that is joint probability distribution table, j12 is equal to 0.15, you can observe. 0.15. So the product f of x1 into g of y2 is equal to j12. So even this got satisfied. Now we verify for the third value, that is f of x1 into g of y3. We have the third value of y3. y3 is given by 4 and its respective probability g of y3 is 0.3. So now let us perform 0.3 into 0.3, which gives us 0.09, and we observe j13. j13 is 0.09. So this is equal to j13. So this was a set of value keeping x1 fixed. We varied y1, y2, y3. Now we will move the other way. That is, we now take the product for f of x2 with g of y1, and then f of x2 should be multiplied with g of y2, and then we take f of x2 into g of y3 respectively. So let us do this quickly. F of x2 is nothing but 0.7. Now 0.7 is multiplied with 0.2 in the first case. 0.7 is multiplied with 0.5, and lastly 0.7 is multiplied with 0.3. So when we take the products here, 0.7 into 0.2 is nothing but 0.14, and we observe this is equal to j21. j21, second row, first value, 0.14. Because I have taken x is equal to 2, y equal to 2, means x is equal to second value x2 and y the first value, so y1. x2, y1 I have taken, f of x2, g of y1. So that should be equal to j21, and j21 from the table, joint probability distribution table, is 0.14. So 0.14. Similarly, 0.7 into 0.5 is 0.35, and this is equal to j22 from the joint table. Similarly, 0.7 into 0.3 is 0.21, and this is equal to j23. j23, second row, third column. We can observe that 0.35 and 0.21 respectively. So did we observe that all the values of the joint probability distribution table, Jij, is exactly equal to f of xi into g of yj. So for every value, if it is satisfying, then we can conclude that the dependent variables, random variables x and y are independent. So thus we conclude x comma y are independent random variables. Are independent random variables, and hence the solution for the second problem. So this was a simple one. The first part of the problem was to just write on the marginal distribution of x and y. So this usually becomes common for every problem, right? If the joint probability distribution table is given, then we have to find out marginal distribution of x and marginal distribution of y. Then in this question, it was asked to show that or verify that x and y are independent random variables. So to say x and y are independent, it should satisfy the condition f of xi into g of ij is equal to jij. And when I say equal to, it should be equal to for every value of the joint table. So that is why we have to prove it for every value and then conclude. Let us take up the third problem now. X and y are, is given that x and y are independent random variables, independent random variables x takes the values, x take values 2, 5, 7 with probabilities 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4 respectively, and y take the values 3, 4, 5 with the probabilities 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3 respectively. First part of the problem, find the joint probability distribution of x and y. Find the joint probability distribution. We can short say JPD. Joint probability distribution of x comma y. And the second part of the problem, show that covariance of x comma y is equal to 0. And thirdly, find the probability distribution. Find the probability distribution of z is equal to x plus y. We need to find the probability distribution of z is equal to x plus y. So given that x and y are independent random variables, it is very important that we have to use the condition of independent random variables in order to write down the joint probability distribution. The condition for independent random variables is f of xi into g of ij is equal to jij for every I comma j. So using the condition for independent random variables, it will be helpful to write down the joint probability distribution of x comma y. So let us first write down the given data in the form of a table. It is given the marginal distributions of x and y are given for us now. Marginal distributions of x comma y. So in the form of a table, we will write down x take the value 2, 5, 7 with probabilities 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. Similarly, y take the values 3, 4, 5 with probabilities 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. So writing down the marginal distribution table first will help us to write down the joint probability distribution table. So that is the reason we'll first frame this table and enter the values. Right, I prepared a marginal distribution table for X and Y. Let us fill the values of X and Y from the given data. X values are, that is Xi I can write down. So it is given Xi values are 2, 5, 7 and its respective probabilities as 1 by 2, 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. So I'll just fill in the same thing. 2, 5, 7 and the respective probabilities, that is f of Xi are 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. Similarly, Y values, which we denote usually by Yj values are given as 3, 4, 5 and the respective probability is usually denoted by G of Yj and they are given as 1 by 3 each. So 1 by 3 each. We observe that the sum of these probabilities G of Yj is equal to 1 and the sum of the probabilities f of Xi is also equal to 1. It is just for our observation sake. Now this is the marginal distribution what is given for us. The table was not directly given for us. The set of values of X and its probabilities, set of values of Y and its probabilities were given. Keeping that, we have written the marginal distributions of X and Y. Now, the first part of the problem is to find out the joint probability distribution of X and Y. To find out the joint probability distribution of X and Y, given data which says that X and Y are independent random variables is very important. So we can use the property of independent random variables and we can find out the joint probability distribution. Yes. So since X and Y are independent random variables, we can use the condition Jij is equal to f of Xi into G of Yj. And this is true for all I comma j is equal to 1, 2, 3. And this is because given that X and Y are independent random variables. Independent random variables. So since it is mentioned that X and Y are independent, we can use the property of the independent random variables. Jij is equal to f of Xi into G of Yj. Now with this, we will be able to write down the joint probability distribution table. Let us see how to write down the joint probability distribution table. So every f of Xi should be multiplied with G of Yj. Starting from, we will fix with one of the value, means we can fix with X is equal to the first value and then we can multiply with every G of Yj. So row wise for every column we can fill the value and proceed. Then to second row every column, then to third row, like that we can proceed. Okay. So first I'll write on the overall look. So X takes the value 2, 5, 7 from the given data. The last row I have kept for G of Yj. Let me tell you what is this. And Y values are respectively given from the table as 3, 4, 5. And here we will be writing down the respective f of Xi values. Okay. So let us see what is it equal to. So we will first write down this part of the table, wherein I want to write down only the J11, J12, J13, J21, J22, J33, J23, and then J31, J32, J33. First, I will fill only this much of the table for you. So which is giving by the product f of X1 into G of Y1, f of X1 fixed, G of Y2, f of X1, G of Y3. Then we will go with X2, f of X2, G of Y1, f of X2, G of Y2, f of X2, G of Y3. So like that row wise we can start filling the values. So first one I will show it for you, f of X1 into G of Y1. So f of X1 is 1 by 2 into G of Y1 is 1 by 3. So 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 gives us 1 divided by 6. Now I am keeping f of X1 fixed. X1 is 2, I am keeping f of X1 fixed, varying Yj. So f of X1 is 1 by 2 should be multiplied with 1 by 3. G of yj, the next value, is also 1 by 3. So 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 is again 1 by 6. Similarly, for the last one, I will get it as 1 by 6. Then now we are varying the next value of x. So I am taking the next value of x as 5. So its respective probability is f of x2, which is 1 by 4. Now f of x2 should be multiplied with every g of yj for the second row. F of x2 is 1 by 4 should be multiplied with every g of yj. So 1 by 4 into 1 by 3, the same 1 by 4 into another 1 by 3, the same 1 by 4 with the last 1 by 3. So of course, all that value gives me 1 by 12. So here in this problem, if values are same, it need not be always. Now, the next value that I have to perform is for x3 equal to 7. So for x3 is equal to 7, f of x3 is 1 by 4. 1 by 4. So this 1 by 4 should be now multiplied with every g of yj for the third row. So again 1 by 4 with 1 by 3 for every row gives us 1 by 12. Now let me tell you what are we going to sum it up here. We are actually finding out the sum. The sum is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6. So row wise, when we sum up the values, we recall it gives us f of xi values. While we are doing the marginal distribution table for x, that is how we do from the joint table. We recall it from the previous problems that we did. So we need to sum up 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6 row wise and write on the sum here below f of xi. So sum is 1 by 2. Similarly, 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12. Sum is equal to 1 by 4. And again 1 by 12, 1 by 12, 1 by 12. Sum is equal to 1 by 4. So row wise sum, we are writing here in the next place, whose values are denoted by f of xi. Observe the marginal distribution for x. They are the respective f of xi. 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. So they are nothing but the respective f of xi values for x is equal to 2, 5, 7. A kind of verification. Similarly, for y equal to 3, 4, 5, we will write on the respective g of yj values by summing up column wise. So 1 by 6, 1 by 12, 1 by 12 gives us 1 by 3. Similarly, 1 by 6, 1 by 12, 1 by 12, sum is 1 by 3. Again, the last one is sum is 1 by 3. Then now this, what is this last column is for is sum of all f of xi's, sum of all g of yj's. We can observe all are equal to 1 itself. So this gives us the joint probability distribution table because the x and y, random variables x and y are independent random variables. We will be able to take the product as f of xi into g of yj is equal to jij and frame this table easily. This was the first part of the problem. Now, the second part of the problem is to show that covariance of xy is equal to 0. So let us write on the formula for covariance. Covariance of xy is given by e of x into y minus e of x into e of y, where e of x, e of y and e of x into y are all expectations. So let us find out one by one and then substitute into this formula. So let's find e of x, or this is same as writing mu x, mean of x. Formula is summation xi into f of xi. F of xi. Xi into f of xi. So looking into the marginal distribution table, it will be helpful for us to evaluate it. Every xi should be multiplied with its probability. So 2 into 1 by 2 plus 5 into 1 by 4 plus 7 into 1 by 4 has to be performed. So 2 into 1 by 2 plus 5 into 1 by 4 plus 7 into 1 by 4. And this on simplification gives us the answer as 4. We can use calculator and obtain the answer easily. This is E of x, or expectation with respect to x, mu x. Mu x. Similarly, we can find out Ey. E of y or Ey, mu y, which is summation yj into g of yj. Again, looking into the marginal distribution of y, it is easy for us to evaluate this. 3 into 1 by 3 plus 4 into 1 by 3 plus 5 into 1 by 3. Every y is multiplied with its probability. So this is 3 into 1 by 3 plus 4 into 1 by 3 plus 5 into 1 by 3. So which gives us 12 by 3, which is equal to 4 again. And lastly, we have to now find out E of x into y. E of x into y. This is obtained by the formula summation xi into yj into jij. So when it comes into the form of j, it is preferable to look into joint probability distribution table easily. We can perform this. So every xi should be multiplied with every yj multiplied with its respective joint value. So 2 into 3 into 1 by 6. 2 into 4 into 1 by 6. 2 into 5 into 1 by 6. Similarly, second row, x is 5. 5 into y is 3. 5 into 3 into 1 by 12. 5 into 4 into 1 by 12, etc. up to the last value. When I say last value, we are not looking forward to this g of yj and f of xi. Okay, so I am not exactly looking for this particular table. Okay, these values are just for our reference. Whenever we do joint values, it is preferable that we write down this f of xi into g of yj to show that the overall sum is equal to 1. So just to show that I had written it, please do not get confused. Okay, so accepting this, we are now doing the product for every xi into yj multiplied with its jij. Okay, so let us perform that to find out E of x into y. Find out E of x into y. So I'll just show for 1 or 2 terms, and then the last term directly we can perform this easily with the help of a calculator. So 2 into 3 into its respective probability is 1 by 6 plus 2 into 4 into the respective probability is 1 by 6, etc. I'll show the last value now. That is x is 7, y is 5, and its respective joint probability value is 1 by 12. So when we perform the sum, the answer is equal to 16. Now all these values we substitute into equation 1 to obtain covariance of x comma y. So formula is E of x into y minus E of x into E of y. E of x into y is 16 minus E of x into E of y. That was our formula in equation 1, no? So E of x into E of y is 4 into 4, 16. 16 minus 16. So this gives us covariance is equal to 0. And the question was also the same thing. Second part of the problem was to show that covariance of x comma y is equal to 0. Now the last part of the problem is to find the probability distribution of z is equal to x plus y. We have to obtain the probability distribution of z equal to x plus y. So let us perform that. Third one. So it is given z is equal to x plus y. Okay. So this is one and the same as assuming zi is equal to xi plus yj. And hence we will be able to write down zi as the sum. Let us write down the set first by summing up xi with yj. So every xi value should be added with yj. So 2 plus 3, 5, 2 plus 4, 6, 2 plus 5, 7, 5 plus 3, 8, 5 plus 4, 9, 5 plus 5 is 10, and again 7 plus 3 is also 10, 7 plus 4, 11, 7 plus 5, 12. So every x is added with y. While doing the sum, did we observe that x is equal to 5 and y equal to 5 gave us the sum as 10, as well as x is equal to 7 and y equal to 3 gave us the sum as 10. So in two cases, 10 sum is repeating. Anyway, sum is starting from 5 and this is up to 12. And we have to just observe while doing for probability for x is equal to 10, the table is, the probabilities will be repeated. Except for that, we have individual values. So let us quickly form a small table wherein we are writing x values and the respective probabilities. So x is starting with, z value and its respective probability p of z we are writing now. So we have totally these many values or these columns to be created. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 columns. So let us now fill all the values, the respective values we can fill. That is z is equal to, we have z and e of z probabilities. Okay. So z takes the value 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And only for z is equal to 10, the probabilities were repeated. So rest of the probability directly we can write down from the joint probability distribution table, right? So with x is equal to 2 and y equal to 3, the respective probability is 1 by 6. Means for sum equal to 5, 3 plus 2 is 5. For sum equal to 5, the respective probability is 1 by 6. 1 by 6. Similarly, for 6, we are getting the sum as 6 with the value x is equal to 2 and y equal to 4. X is equal to 2 plus y is equal to 4. 4 plus 2 gives us 6. Its respective probability is 1 by 6. So like that we can write down. Till 9 I will write down in the same manner. 8 means it is x is equal to 5 and y equal to 3. From the joint table, x is equal to 5, y equal to 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Its respective probability is 1 by 12. So that's for 1 by 12 here. Similarly, for 9, it is 1 by 12. Whereas for 10, it is the sum of two 1 by 12s. 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12. And here the sum is equal to 1 divided by 6. Let me show how it is. We are getting the sum equal to 10 by adding x is equal to 5 with, we are getting this by adding x is equal to 5 with y equal to 5. So 5 plus 5, 10, 10. And similarly, 7 plus 3 is also 10. X is equal to 7, y equal to 3. 7 plus 3 is also 10. So their respective probabilities are 1 by 12. Here also it is 1 by 12. So 1 by 12 plus 1 by 12 I have written. That is why it is 1 by 6. Later, the sum 7 plus 4 is 11. Its respective probability is 1 by 12. 7 plus 5 is also 12. 7 plus 5 is also 12. Its respective probability is 1 by 12. So here the probabilities are directly 1 by 12 and 1 by 12. So we are just adding the x and y values and writing down zi. Its probabilities can be directly written from the joint probability distribution table. Since the sum 10 is repeated for two different probabilities, we are adding those probabilities and writing down here. So this is how we can obtain zi equal to xi plus yi and its table p of z. And here we observe that a small observation, sum of all p of z values is equal to 1. If you want, you can sum it up and just check it out. The sum of all p of z values will be equal to 1 itself. Probability can at most be equal to 1, no? So that is the reason here the sum will be equal to 1. So this was third problem for us, wherein the marginal values were given. Keeping that, we had to obtain the joint probability distribution, obtain covariance, followed by probability distribution for z is equal to x plus y. We'll see the fourth question now. The joint probability distribution of two discrete random variables, x and y, two discrete random variables x and y is given by f of x comma y is equal to k into 2x plus y, where x and y, small x and y, are integers such that such that 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2, 0 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 3. Means x lies between 0 to 2 and y lies between 0 to 3. The first part of the question is to find the value of k. Find k. Secondly, find marginal distributions of x and y. Marginal distributions of x and y. And the third part of the problem is to show that x and y are dependent. X and y are dependent. So there are three parts in the problem. Firstly, we have to find out k value because f of xy is defined as k into 2x plus y. So the joint probability distribution of these two random variables x and y are defined in this form. So keeping this as a kind of formula, we are going to frame the joint probability distribution table first in terms of k. The table will actually help us to write down or find out the value of k indirectly. Okay, how is that? We can easily just check it out. The first part is to find k. Then finally, we have to find the marginal distributions of x and y and show that x and y are dependent random variables. So let us move ahead to do with one by one. Very firstly, I'll take up the first part of it. So it is given that x values are, the range of x given is 0, 1 and 2. 0, 1, comma 2. That's the range of x. And the range of y given is, I denoted by say yj, xi usually and yj no. So it is given as 0 to 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So these are the values of y given for us. Then we have f of x comma y given as, f of x comma y is given as k into 2x plus y. K into 2x plus y. Now let us frame the joint probability distribution table. So I'll frame the table first and then fill in the values with x is equal to 0, y equal to 0, x is equal to 0, y equal to 1. So like that we can frame the values with respect to k, because f of x, y is nothing but the joint probability values respectively taken with x and y. Right, here is the joint probability distribution table created for you. So we have x and y values. So let us write down all the x values. X ranges from 0 to 2. So 0, 1, 2. And then as usual, we will be writing down the sum here. Right. And similarly here it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3 because y values ranges from 0 to 3. And again we shall write down the sum here. Means f of xi and g of yj respectively. F of xi and g of yj respectively. Now we have when x is 0, y is 0. Let us substitute x is equal to 0 and y equal to 0 in f of x comma y. So x is 0, y is 0. So f of xy will also be equal to 0. So the very first value is 0. And when x is 0, y is 1. When x is 0, y is 1. This will be k. This will be k. So second row, second element, first row, second element I am writing. Then when x is 0, y is 2. X is 0, y equal to 2. So this becomes 2k for us. 2k. Similarly, we can try to fill out the remaining values. Hope you have got the idea. So this is 3k next. Then when x is 1, y is 0. X is 1, y is 0. So 2 plus 0. 2 plus 0 is 2, 2k. So this gives us 2k. And similarly, the rest of the values in the next set is 3k, 4k, 5k. Similarly, in the next row it is 4k, 5k, 6k and 7k. Let us sum up row wise. Summing up row wise gives us f of xi values. So 0k, 2k, 3k gives us the sum as 6k here. Similarly here the sum 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives us the sum as 14k. And next row, again row wise when we sum up, it is equal to 22k. 22k. Column wise, let us sum up all the values. So 0, 4, 2, which gives us 6k, 5, 3, 1, so 9k, and similarly 12k, and the last will give us 15k. What is the overall sum? If you sum up these f of xi's or g of yj's, whatever you sum up, this should be unique. So 22 plus 14 plus 6 gives us 42k. Similarly, if you check out here row wise, 15 plus 19 plus 9 plus 6, even that is equal to 42k. So the overall sum is equal to 42k. We know that this sum must be equal to 1. This sum must be equal to 1. We have already observed that in the last problem as well as learnt in the theory. Correct? So we can directly find out the value of k easily from this. So we must have the overall sum in the tabular column of joint probability distribution to be equal to 1. So 42k should be equal to 1, and hence k is equal to 1 divided by 42. So that was the first part of the problem for us, finding the value of k. Finding the value of k. Then we have to find marginal distribution of x and y, and finally show that x and y are dependent. So let us now find out marginal distribution of x and y, framing a small tabular column for each. Right. So this is a table for marginal distribution of x and y. So we have x values. I'll write on it as xi and f of xi respectively. So xi values and f of xi values we can write on here. Xi values respectively are 0, 1 and 2. And we shall now find out the respective f of xi values. So we can obtain f of xi values, which is equal to, we have already seen it in the distribution, joint probability distribution table. So the sum here for x is equal to 0, the sum is 6k. So 6 divided by 42. we can leave it as it is, need not put it in the fractional, or it's okay if we don't put it in the least fraction also. Okay, so this is 6 divided by 42 for x is equal to 0. Similarly, when x is 1, we saw that the sum is equal to 14k. So 14 divided by 42 is the second value here in f of xi, 14 divided by 42. Similarly, we have for x is equal to 2, the sum is 22k. 22k row wise sum we have already written in the joint probability distribution table, and now that is helping me to write down the marginal distribution values easily. So 6 by 42 plus 14 by 42 plus 22 by 42. Check out the overall sum of f of xi is should be equal to 1. So 14 plus 6, 20, 20 plus 22, 42 by 42 gives us 1. Similarly, we will write down the marginal distribution of yj now. So this is yj and then g of yj values. So y values are 0, 1, 2, 3, and now we will fill out the respective probabilities. So again, column wise, we have already written the sum in terms of k. So for y is equal to 0, the sum is 6k. For y is equal to 1, the sum is 9k. For y is equal to 2, the sum is 12k. And for y is equal to 3, the sum is 15k. So respectively, since k is 1 by 42, these values will be 6 by 42, 9 by 42, 12 by 42, and 15 by 42. Again, if we sum up these values respectively, we can observe that the sum is equal to 1. Sum of g of yj should be equal to 1. Okay, even that is satisfying if we can observe. So now we will find out the third part of the problem. The third part of the problem is the third part of the problem is to now find out or verify that x and y are dependent variables, dependent random variables. To show that x and y are dependent random variables, we have to show that f of xi into g of yj is not equal to jij. Okay, so let us first recall about that definition. For x and y, the random variables x and y, to be independent, we must have, for x and y to be independent, we must have f of xi into g of yj equal to jij. This is the condition which it has to satisfy for independent random variables. So let us check or verify this condition for any one of the value, because we have to show that they are not equal to and conclude this dependent random variables. So therefore, f of x1 into g of y1. So f of x1 is 6 by 42 multiplied by g of y1 is also 6 by 42. So this gives us 1 by 7 into 1 by 7, so which is 1 by 49 on simplification. But we know that J11, because this should have been equal to J11, no? So we observe that J11 is equal to 0. This is the observation that we can do it from the joint probability distribution table. So J11 is 0, but f of x1 into g of y1 is 1 by 49 from the marginal distributions. So that is why we conclude that f of x1 into g of y1 is not equal to j11. If it does not satisfy the condition for any value of I and j, we can hence conclude that random variables are dependent. So thus the random variables x and y, x comma y are dependent. Okay, so we have this problem which was with respect to k, finding out k value using the joint probability distribution function, and the function f of xy was defined k into 2x plus y. So in this manner we will be able to easily find out, with the help of joint probability distribution table, we will be easily able to find out the value of k And marginal distribution finding will help us to show that x and y are dependent random variables. Right, we'll take up the fifth question. Given the following joint probability distribution table for x and y. So joint probability table is given where x takes the value 0, 1, y takes the value 0, 1, 2, 3, and the sum is also given for us. Overall sum is coming to be 1. So given this, we have to compute the following. Compute first one, probability of x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2. Second one, probability of x greater than or equal to 1, y less than or equal to 2. Thirdly, probability of x less than or equal to 1 and y less than or equal to 2. And the fourth and the last part of the problem, probability of x plus y should be greater than or equal to 2. So given the joint probability distribution table, we have to find these things. So using the table, first let us write down the x values given for us, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, y values are 0, 1, 2, 3 and the x values are 0, 1. So first let us write down the x, y values and respectively let us write down the j values. From the joint table, we will be always able to write down the j values now. So j11, j12, j13, etc. Those values also we will write it down. So let us firstly assume x values given as x1, x2. So they are given as 0, 1 and we will denote this respectively. And similarly, let us assume capital Y values given as y1, y2, y3 and there's one more value y4 and they are respectively 0, 1, 2, 3. Then J11 from the table we are writing. So J11 is 0, J12. Let me show how the values are read. By now you might be familiar. Anyway, J11 is 0, J12 is 1 by 8, J13 1 by 4, J14 1 by 8. Similarly, J21, J22, J23, J24. So we will just write down all the values which is going to help us to find out the required things. J12 is 1 by 8, J13 is 1 by 4, J14 is 1 by 8 and similarly we have J21 which is 1 by 8, J22 1 by 4, J23 1 by 8 and J24 0. So this we have written J values from the joint probability distribution table. Now let us find out one by one. The first part of the problem is to find probability of x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2. Probability of x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2. A small representation, capital X, small x does not matter, capital Y, small y does not matter. So we are given with x is equal to 1 and y equal to 2. So probability of x is taking 1 and y equal to 2 is J23, whose value from the table directly is 1 by 8. From the joint table we are easily able to represent it now. So probability of x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2 is same as writing probability of x2 comma y3. X is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 is nothing but x2. Y is equal to 2. Y equal to 2 is nothing but third value. So y3. Y3. And this is same as writing J23. J23. And J23 value from the table is 1 by 8. 1 by 8. Similarly, now we can find out the remaining part of the problems. So probability of x greater than or equal to 1 and y less than or equal to 2 we have to find out. Probability of x greater than or equal to 1, y less than or equal to 2. So here x comma y can take the values. First we will recognize what all values it can take. So x comma y take the values 1 comma 0, 1 comma 1 and 1 comma 2. So let me tell how it is. X should take greater than or equal to 1. X is having only 0 and 1 as the values. So x should be greater than or equal to 1 means it can take only x is equal to 1. So respectively x is fixed as 1 in all the cases. Then y should be less than or equal to 2. Y values start from 0. So 0, 1, 2 are the respective values that it can take. So that is why y I have taken as 0. Next case y is 1. Next case y is 2. That's why the coordinates x comma y becomes 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2. So they are respectively these values that it is taking respectively are denoted by x2 comma y1, x2 comma y2, x2 comma y3. Correct now? 0. Y is 0 means y1. Y is 1 means it is y2 representation. Y is 2 means y3. The representations also we are just looking into for convenient. Right? So when I have to find out probability of x greater than or equal to 1 and respectively y less than or equal to 2, it is the sum of j21 plus j22 plus j23. 2, 1 suffix. Just observe the suffixes, you will get easily understand. So 2, 1. X is taking 2, y is taking 1. So 2, 1. 2, 2, 2, 3. So J21, J22, J23 from the table are 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 8. Since here itself we have already written the values of J's, it will be helpful for us to easily write down. So J21 is 1 by 8, J22 is 1 by 4, J23 is 1 by 8. So we can sum up all these to get the answer in this case as 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is the answer for probability of x greater than or equal to 1 and y less than or equal to 2. That was the second part of the problem for us. Now thirdly, we have to find out probability of x less than or equal to 1. Probability of x less than or equal to 1 and y less than or equal to 2. So x less than or equal to 1 means x can take both 0 and 1. Y less than or equal to 2 means y can take 0, 1, 2. So all possible values that it can take we can write down first. So x comma y take the values. X comma y take the values. First I will fix x is equal to 0 and y equal to 0. X is 0, y1. X is 0, y2. Y less than or equal to 2. Next possible cases, x is fixed as 1. Vary the y. Y is 0, y is 1 and y is 2. And they are respectively 0, 0 means x1, y1. And this is x1, y2. Next one is x1, y3. Similarly, the fourth one is x2. X is changed. So x2, y1, x2, y2. And the last one, x2, y3. So therefore, when we want to find out probability of x less than or equal to 1, y less than or equal to 2, this can be written as j11. Looking into the suffix, it's easy to write down now. So j12 plus j13 plus j21 plus j22 and lastly j23. We have already written all the respective j values, no? So j11, 1, 2, J1, 3, etc. We have written all of them. So it's now convenient to substitute the values and obtain the answer in this case. So it is 0 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 J21 plus 1 by 4 again, and the last one is 1 by 8. So when we sum up all these values, we can get the answer as 7 by 8. 7 by 8. So this was the third case of the problem. And now we are going on or moving ahead to fourth and the last case to find out probability of x plus y greater than or equal to 2. X plus y should be greater than or equal to 2. So we will now write down what are the different possibilities that when we sum up x and y, it should be greater than or equal to 2. So let us write down all different possibilities. So x comma y can take the values. They can take the values 0 comma 2. Let me show it from the table once to you. X plus y should be greater than or equal to 2. So 0 plus 0 will give us 0. So this case we are not considering. 0 plus 1 gives us 1. So again it is not considered because x plus y should be greater than or equal to 2. 0 plus 2. Yes, we are considering this case. So 0 comma 2 is one of the coordinate. 0 comma 3 is also considerable. Then 1 comma 0 is not considered because 1 plus 0 will give us 1. X plus y is not greater than or equal to 2. That is why we are not considering 1 comma 0. Then 1 comma 1 we have to consider sum is equal to 2. 1 comma 2 we have to consider. 1 comma 3 we have to consider. So keeping all the values of x and y in mind, right, we are able to write down these coordinates. Sum of these, it should be equal to greater than or equal to 2. So 0 comma 2, 0 comma 3, then 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, and lastly 1 comma 3. So these are the respective values. So they are respectively in terms of x and y we can write down. This is x1, y3, x1, y3, then x1, y4. Then when x is 1, it is x2, x2 comma y2, x2, y3, and lastly it is x2, y4. The same can be written as in terms of the sum jij. So therefore, probability of x plus y greater than or equal to 2. Can be written as J13 plus J14 plus J22 plus J23 plus J24. So these are equal to 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 8 and 0. Hope you understood. I'll just repeat. X1, Y3. X1, Y3 is same as writing J13. Similarly, X1, Y4. So J14. Like that we have written this. J13, J14, J22, all the J values we have already written it here. We have penned all the values over here, which is going to help us to substitute now. So the sum is equal to 3 by 4. The sum is equal to 3 by 4 in this case. So this was another different problem what we followed. Given the joint probability distribution table for x and y, we had to compute probability of x is equal to 1, y equal to 2, like that different categories. So hope these problems on joint probability distributions are helpful to you. Thank you for watching.